Hi guys, my name is Dorita van Lochenberg. Welcome to Logged In with Teacher Dorita. I'm going to show you today how to do the cash receipt journal. This is for your travel office procedure N5 subject. Right, so the first thing that you always have to do is to read your instructions. The following transactions occurred in the books for ABC Travel for March 2025. Your first instruction says, show the transactions in the cash receipt journal with analysis columns for sundry accounts, debtors control, creditors control, commission received, analysis of receipt, and bank. So you will remember that when you get your answer sheet, a lot of these columns are left blank. They are not named. So it's your responsibility to name them according to what the instruction tells you. Right. The receipts begin at R51. A lot of times they will give you a receipt number per transaction. Of course, you will then just use those receipt numbers. But in this case, and what they also like to do in the exam, is to just give you the first number. You then have to make sure that you insert the receipt numbers following on R51. Right, next one. Money will be deposited into the bank account for ABC Travel only on the 9th, the 16th, the 25th, and the 31st of March. It means here in your bank column, you will only have values on those specific dates at the end of those days. I'm going to show you how to do it. Last instruction says close the journal off at the end of the month. So really, all it means when they say that you have to close off your journal, it means that you have to add up all the values in a specific column to get the total for that column. And guys, this is very important because in the exam, they will definitely allocate marks to those totals. It means that even if you've done the whole CRJ perfectly and you don't add it up and you don't show your totals, you could lose maybe 6 or 7 marks. So it's important that you close your journal off at the end of the month. Right, let's get right into it. I've pre-typed the transaction, which basically is the question, and I'm going to fill in the answer in the yellow line. I hope that helps you to see nice and clearly. Right, it says on the 1st of the month, you'll see the number 1 there. You received a check from D. Benson, the owner, as his capital contribution. Right. So the very first thing we need to fill in is our document number or your receipt number. The question gave it to you. It starts with R51. The day was the 1st of the month. The very next thing I want you to do is to fill in the full amount under analysis of receipt, 650,000 Rand. And you will always do this in your cash receipt journal. You're going to take the full value, fill it in under analysis of receipt. Now you ask yourself, what was this for? It was for capital. You then check if you've got a column for capital. We do not. We've got commission received, creditors, and debtors. That means that if you don't have a column for the transaction, you have to use your sundries. Okay. Under sundries, you will then put the word or the name of what this was for. It was for capital. And you will put the same value under your sundry amounts. Even if you use your sundries, you always have to show the details. With the column of details, you can ask yourself the question, where did the money come from? Who paid me the money? In this case, it was D. Benson. That's it. Your transaction is complete. Next one. On the 1st as well, you sell 3 tour packages to Australia presented by SAA for cash to P. Gallo, 16,500 Rand per package, and it includes 10% commission. So we don't have the full amount yet that we want to insert under analysis of receipt because we've got calculations to do, right? So let's first do the calculations. Here we go. You had 3 tour packages. So you take your tour package value, 16,500 Rand. You multiply this by 3, which gives you the total of 49,500 Rand. That's going to be your full value that you are going to put under analysis of receipt. We then also have to work out the commission. To work out the commission, you take the full value, you multiply it with the commission percentage that they give to you in the question. In this case, it's 10%. And you get the commission value of 4,950 Rand. Then we have to work out the creditor's amount. To do this, we take the full value again, we minus the commission of 4,950 Rand, and we get the balance, which is 44,550. Why do we do this? Remember, your client pays you the full amount, right, for the tour packages, 49,500 Rand. But not all of that money belongs to you. The commission part is yours, but the balance is still due to the creditor, which you will pay maybe at the end of the month or at a specific date that you've agreed upon with the creditor. In this case, the creditor is SAA. So what does this look like on the journal? The first thing that you're going to do is you can put in your document number. So now we have to use the next one. It has to be in numerical order. You're going to put R52, and the date was also the 1st. And then you first put in your full value under analysis of receipt, 49,500. You then ask yourself, what was this for? So we know that 4,950 was for commission, and the balance of that, 44,550, goes to the creditor. So in this case, guys, you see that we had columns for this. We had a column for commission and we had a column for creditors. So we use the columns if we have them available. Regardless of whether you've used a column provided or your sundry accounts, you always have to show the details. So you ask yourself, where did the money come from or who paid me the money? In this case, it was P. Gallo. And now, guys, what's very, very important is that you have to show your creditor in brackets, SAA. They give marks for this when they mark the exam paper. If you leave it out, you're going to lose marks in the exam. So make sure that you put your creditor in brackets. You must remember, we are teaching you TOPN5 with the assumption that you've now finished your studies, you've opened your own travel agency, you are doing your books, you're running your business, right? And at the end of the month, or really at any time, if you want to check where did you get certain money from, you'll see in your bank account, wow, someone paid me 49,500. I can't remember where this came from. Then you can check on your cash receipt journal. You will see that you received the money from P. Gallo, but you'll also see that you still have a creditor to whom you owe money. You still have to pay them the 44,550. So it's very important to remember that. Right, that transaction is done. We can do the next one. Sold hotel accommodation to Mr. and Mrs. Hudson at the Holiday Inn in Port Elizabeth. It's 1,800 Rand per room per night. They will be staying for 3 nights. It includes 10% commission and they paid by check. Right, so again, we don't have the full amount yet that we want to put under analysis of receipts. We have to do the calculations. So for the accommodation, you have to take your room rate, 1,800 Rand per room per night. You multiply it with 3 because they are staying for 3 nights. This gives you the total of 5,400 Rand. That's going to be your analysis of receipt value. You have to then work out the commission. You do this by taking your full value, multiply with 10%, gives you the commission that you've made of 540 Rand. We then also have to work out the creditors amount by taking the full value minus the commission, leaves us with a balance of 4,860 Rand, which is due to the creditor. Let's put it in our journal. So we can first insert our document number. We are now at R53. The day is now the 9th of the month. And the first thing you do is you put your full value under analysis of receipt, 5,400, and ask yourself, what was this for? We know that 540 Rand was for commission, and the balance of 4,860 is due to the creditor. Even though I had columns for this, I still have to show my details. When they've got 2 people like Mr. and Mrs., you will get your mark if you write either or. So we're going to do Mr. Hudson. And important to remember your creditor in brackets. Holiday Inn, PE. That's it. Your transaction is done. Next one. Also on the 9th, we sold an air ticket on Mango to M Standard for 2,450 Rand cash, and it includes 7% commission. So we are going to do the calculations first. It's just one air ticket, guys. We don't have to multiply with anything. We simply work out our commission of 7%, which gives us 171.50. And we take that commission off from the main amount, from the 2,450 Rand, to get our creditors amount. Right, what does this look like? First, we'll put in our document number. We are now at R54. Do you see it follows in numerical order? The date is the 9th of the month. And first, we put our full value under analysis of receipt, 2,450. You ask yourself, what was this for? We know that 171.50 was our commission. And the balance of this, 2,278.50, is due to the creditor. We have to show our details. Where did the money come from? We received it from M Standard, and we show our creditor in brackets, which was Mango. Right, so if you've been paying attention, you would have noticed that we are on the 9th of the month, and your instructions told you that on the 9th is going to be the first day that you will be taking money to the bank. Right, so simply what that means is that all of the values that you have up to this point in your analysis of receipt has to be added up, and one big value will then go to the bank. So it means we're going to take 650,000 plus 49,500 plus your 5,400 plus your 2,450, and the total goes to the bank, the total being 707,350. What's important is that you add this double line underneath the last value that you've added up. So I know that you guys do this handwritten. Because I'm using Excel, I'm just using a thick bottom border. You should be able to see it clearly though. There's your thick line. The line just means that everything above the line has been added together and taken to the bank. Please remember to put your double line there because you get marks for showing the double line. Right. Next one. On the 10th, you received 2,500 Rand as a donation from SATSA. This is straightforward. We don't have calculations to do. We can fill in our receipt number R55. The day is the 10th. We put our full value under analysis of receipt. And you ask yourself, what was it for? It was for donations. And guys, we don't have a column for donations. That's why we will be using our sundries. Under your sundries detail, you simply call it what it is, donations, and you put your value under your sundry amounts. And remember to always show the details. Where did the money come from? It came from SATSA. Perfect. Next one. On the 15th, we sold 2 air tickets for 2,350 Rand each on SAA. The client already paid with his credit card. It includes 7% commission. Guys, so whenever you see the word credit card in your CRJ, the bells and whistles must go off. You cannot use the standard receipt or document number for a transaction like this. You need to use a standard credit card charge form in order to assist the client to pay with his credit card. I know that you also learn this in your travel services N5. You've learned how to fill in the SCCCF form. So what it means is that instead of following the number order of the document or the receipt, in here you will simply put the code SCCCF. That's very important. They always give a mark for this because they want to see that students know to use this code when it's a credit card transaction. Our day is the 15th. And before we can put our full value under analysis of receipt, we first have to do the calculations. Right. So you sold 2 air tickets. That's why we're multiplying with 2. It gives you a total of 4,700 Rand. You have to work out your commission of 7%, which gives you 329 Rand. And in order to get the creditor's amount, you're going to take the full value minus the commission, gives you the balance due to the creditor. Let's put it in our journal. Right, our full value, 4,700. What was it for? We know that 329 Rand was the commission, and the balance of 4,371 is due to the creditor. Always remember to show your details. Where did the money come from? It came from R Reading, and we put our creditor in brackets. Perfect. Next one. T. Tobela, a debtor, has an outstanding balance of 6,000 Rand. she pays 75% of this account. So yes, we've got a calculation to do. You take your 6,000 Rand and you work out 75% of this. Why? Because even though Tobela owes you 6,000 Rand, she wasn't able to pay the full amount. So she only paid 75% of that amount. And if you work it out, it gives you a total of 4,500 Rand, which is the total that she paid. Let's see, what does it look like in your journal? Right, so I'm now going to continue with my document number or my receipt number, just following where we left off. So now it is R56. Always after the SCCCF, you will carry on with the next document number. Our day was the 16th, and the first thing we do is we put our full value under analysis of receipt. I just want to check my amount, 4,500 Rand. And what was this for? Okay, so now it was a debtor paying an outstanding balance. Do we have a column for debtors? Yes, we do. You're going to insert the 4,500 Rand in your debtors column. There we go. Remember your details. Who paid me the money? Tobela. And in this case, there's no creditor that we still have to pay, so we don't need to put anything in brackets. Right, have you been with me? Did you realize that it's the 16th of the month and we've got no further transactions on the 16th, meaning that we can now go to the bank. The transactions that you will add will be the 3 that we've just done, the amounts that you have not taken to the bank yet. Right, so it's going to be your 2,500 plus your 4,700 plus your 4,500 gives us a total of 11,700, which is the money that you take into the bank. And remember to put your double line underneath the last amount that you've added up. So you can see it clearly there, showing you the thick line. Right, next one. On the 25th, we received 5,500 Rand from Mug's Coffee Shop for rent of the building. So guys, you must always try and put yourself literally in that position of having your own travel agency, running the business, doing the books. It's a very real scenario where you are maybe renting office space that is a bit too big for you, and you decide to sub-rent part of that office or just a space that you don't need. So in this case, that's exactly what happened. This travel agency had an extra area that they didn't use, and they're renting it out to Mug's Coffee Shop, and they are paying rent. So this is a very nice source of income for the company. It looks like this in your books. Our document number is now R57. The day is the 25th. You put your full amount under analysis of receipt, 5,500. What was it for? It was for rent received. I don't have a column, so I'm using my sundries. You simply call it what it is. Rent received with your amount under your sundry amounts, and always remember to put in your details. Who paid me the money? Mug's Coffee Shop. There we go. The next transaction also happened on the 25th. We sold hotel accommodation to Central College in Protea Hotels. They wanted 8 rooms and it's 750 Rand per room. It includes 10% commission and they paid with a check. So before we can do anything, we first have to work out and do our calculations. Right, so here we go. 750. We multiply this with 8 because of the 8 rooms, and that gives you your total of 6,000 Rand, which will be your analysis of receipt value. We work out our commission of 10%, which is 600 Rand. And in order to get the creditor's amount, you take the full value minus the commission, gives you the amount due to the creditor. Right, let's put it on our journal. We are now at R58. The day is the 25th, and we put our full value under analysis of receipt, 6,000 Rand. What was it for? We know that 600 Rand was for commission that we made, and the balance of 5,400 is due to the creditor. I fill in my details to show where did the money come from. It came from Central College, and I show my creditor, Protea Hotels, in brackets. Right, so on the 25th, we're also supposed to be going to the bank. So we can take this money to the bank. All the amounts that has not gone to the bank yet, it's your 5,500 plus your 6,000. Gives us a total that's going to the bank of 11,500. Remember to show your double line. Okay, almost done, guys. We've got 2 more transactions to go. On the 30th, we sold travel insurance with AIG, also to Central College, for 6,000 Rand cash, and it includes 15% commission. So what does this look like? I'm taking my 6,000 Rand, working out the 15% commission, which is 900 Rand. To get my creditor's amount, I take the full value minus the commission, gives me 5,100 Rand, which I have to pay to the creditor. Let's put it in our journal. Right, so our receipt number is now at R59. The day is the 30th. We put our full value under analysis of receipt, 6,000 Rand. What was it for? We know that 900 Rand was for the commission that we made, and the balance of 5,100 has to go to the creditor. We show our details so that we can remember and know where did the money come from. It was also from Central College, and we put our creditor AIG in brackets. Right, we're not going to the bank on the 30th. We're going to go to the bank again after this next transaction. On the 31st, the owner, D. Benson, increased his capital contribution to 900,000 Rand. Okay, this can be a tricky one, and it's important that you pay attention literally to the English language. If they say that he increased his capital to 900,000, it means that it looks like this. Owner increased capital to 900,000, but how much did he already have? He already gave 650,000 Rand. meaning that in order for him to increase his capital to 900,000, he simply needs to pay in the difference. So you're going to take 900,000 minus what he's already got, gives you 250,000 Rand. Let's put it on our journal. Document number R60, the day is the 31st. My full value goes under analysis of receipt, 250,000. What was it for? It was for capital. We don't have a column for capital, so we are using our sundries. Under the detail, we'll put capital, our sundry amount, and under details, where did the money come from? D. Benson. Okay. What would have been different is if the sentence read, he increased his capital contribution with 900,000. The word with means that you're adding the full 900,000. Okay, guys, this is important, so you must read. Make sure you understand what is asked of you. Right, so that is all the transactions. We have to now take this last one to the bank. The last two we have to take to the bank. It's literally your 6,000 plus your 250,000 gives us 256,000. And we take it to the bank and we add our double line. The last instruction said to you that you must close off the journals at the end of the month. So I'm lucky because I'm working on Excel. I've put in formulas to add the columns as I go. But literally what you would need to do is to start at the top of all of the columns and you add all of the amounts together. So for sundry, you will add 650 plus 2,500 plus 5,500 plus 250,000. It gives you 908,000. You do the same with debtors, you do the same with creditors, and with commission received, and also with bank. We do not add the amounts in our analysis of receipt column. Okay, you leave that blank. Right. So the last thing that you can do, and this is great because it's a way for you to double check if you've done it right. The idea is that everything on the right side of analysis of receipt, meaning only the bank, needs to balance with all of the columns on the left side of analysis of receipt. It means that if you add these totals of your columns together, it should give you exactly the same amount as the total of your bank. So I can quickly check. Let me add them together. There we go. 986,550. It's the same as your bank. It means that you are balancing and that you've probably done it perfectly. It's a good way for you to check. Right, guys, so that's the end of Cash Receipt Journal. I hope it was helpful. Go through it and remember all the tips and the tricks for where you get marks. And good luck for your studies. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please go and subscribe and like the video and share it with your friends. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.